guys, we are in for another video. I am currently sick. My ears are plugged, my throat is plugged, my nose is plugged, so I feel like I sound weird. I can't tell if I'm yelling, so we're just gonna move past it. I went to Disney, got this sweatshirt, and came back with a cold because it was 32 degrees, rainy, windy, miserable. But I was looking over what I had left. I had 5 books left on my TBR, and I'm like, what can I do? And then I saw that I had 3 blue books. So we are going to be reading blue books in this video. This is a video all about reading blue books. Blue books make up a good portion of my bookshelves. I have double blue books. Besides, if we are ignoring black, blue is like the next most popular color. And so in this video, we are going to be reading these 3 books. We are starting with Indigo Ridge. I've read 1 chapter so far of this book. This book does have longer chapters, and this is the first book in the Edens series. This book is about a girl named Winslow, or she goes by Win or Winnie, and she is the new chief of police in Quincy, Montana. And everybody thinks that she got the position just because her grandfather is the mayor, but that is not the case. She needs to win over the Edens, which is like the family in town. However, she slept with one of the people in the Eden family her first night in town. And basically, sleeping with Griffin was a huge mistake, and she's trying to forget. He's insufferable, arrogant, and keeps reminding everyone that she is an outsider. Winslow does her best to avoid him, but when a woman is found dead on Eden property, the 2 of them have no choice but to cross paths. So this is like a romantic-y thriller, so that's exciting. I think after that, I'm going to read Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This book is wildly popular. It is a romance, one of the top 100 romances of all times on Goodreads. I wanted to lose myself in the small town of Maine, Pelion, Maine, to forget everything I had left behind, the sound of the rain, the blood, the coldness of the gun against my skin. For 6 months, each breath has been a reminder that I survived and my dad didn't. I am almost safe again. But the moment I met Archer Hale, my entire world tilts on its axis until it's never right again. Until I trespass on his strange, silent, and isolated world, Archer communicates with no one. Yet in his whiskey-colored eyes, something intangible happens between us. There is so much more to him than just his beauty, his presence, or the way that his hands communicate with me. I'm pretty sure he is deaf. He does sign language. But this town is mirrored in secrets and betrayals, and Archer is in the explosive center of it all. So I've heard this book is sad. Then I'm going to be reading The Perfect Ruin by Sharonda Williams. This was gifted to me, I believe, by my friend Emily. Yes, and this is giving revenge murder mystery. There was a tragedy that ended the main character Ivy's happy family and childhood. Now she's like in her 20s and very troubled, and she discovers the name of the woman who destroyed her world, and she wants to take all of her success away. So that'll be the 3rd book we read. So we're gonna get through these. We have 2 extraordinarily popular book talk books, and then 1 book that was gifted to me by a friend that she absolutely loved and she can't wait for me to get to. But hopefully I can get through these this week. With being kind of sick, like I said, I read 1 chapter last night, and then I went to bed because I just have not been feeling stellar. And like I said, these chapters are 20 pages, so I'm not obsessed with that. But this is only a little over 300 pages. Same with The Perfect Ruin. And then this one's closer to 400. So this is the longest one, but we're gonna get that done second. And we're gonna go and have a great time with all these blue books. Reading only blue books update. Hello friends. We're going to update on Miss Indigo Ridge because we are about 1/4 of the way through, 27%. I have 3.5 hours left, and I do hope to finish it today. It is currently 5 o'clock. I'm going to go eat dinner, take a shower, and hopefully be done with all of that by 6. And then I would like to finish this by 11. I am sick, and so I feel like I'm reading quite slow, but I am reading it on my Kindle because I have no chill, and I just love Cynthia so very much. I'm on chapter 7. The long chapters do be pissing me off, if I'm being honest with you. I don't love that. It's about 80 pages in. Here we are, 27%. So far, I'm not obsessed. It's giving very 3-star energy. This is all info, on the back. Basically, we have our main character, Win, or Winslow, or Winnie, mainly Wynn, and she gets to Quincy, Montana, and on her first night she goes to like a local bar and she starts talking to this guy. He says he doesn't live in Quincy, and she's like, phew, okay, I can hook up with him because he doesn't live here. I just don't want to get involved with a local, blah blah blah. They sleep together. Come to find out the next day she goes in with her grandfather, who is the mayor or whatever, to go to lunch with the like grandfather of the Eden family, and the Eden family is like the head honcho family of this town, and his grandson. Lo and behold, it is the guy that she slept with. So this is tragic, and then they like can't keep their hands off of each other. And basically the mystery part is starting, which is where I think this will either take it to a 4 or a 2, where basically we are at the point now where the body was found on Griffin's property and investigation is underway. And people are not happy that she's investigating it because everybody thinks that it's just suicide. So I'm excited to see where it goes. It could become really good or really bad. So, but I know this has really good ratings, so I'm assuming it hopefully will go well. But who knows? Okay, friends, I'm feeling significantly better today. I can go to the bathroom. We'll stand here like this. We have finished Miss Indigo Ridge. Yay, woo! And I did give it 4 stars. I do think I am going to continue with the series. I liked how like the ending of the book like alluded to Sable Peaks. I think that's like the 2nd book. But in this book, I do have some gripes about it. I will say the epilogue should have just not existed. I am in the camp that I think an epilogue, which this is a romance, you know they're gonna end up together, okay? I think an epilogue where they're just like all of a sudden after being together for like 3 seconds pregnant and married is really not my fave. But basically in this book we have our main character Winslow, Winnie, whatever you want to call her, and she gets a job as the chief of police in Quincy, Montana. She moves to the town, and it's where her family is from, but since she didn't grow up there, everybody thinks of her as an outsider, and a lot of the people in the police force are kind of like pissy that she got the job. Whatever. So there's this head honcho family in town called the Edens, and accidentally on her first night, which you know this from the back of the book, it's not a spoiler, she hooks up with somebody in the Eden family named Griffin. This is dual point of view. You get Griffin and you get Winslow, and basically they just can't get enough of each other, even though they're like, oh, I don't want a relationship. They can't keep their paws off, okay? And it's about her basically proving to herself that she is a good cop. Whenever a body is found on Griffin's property, they have to work together to figure out what's going on. I thought the story was very interesting. I was kicking my feet a little bit about the romance. I did think it was quite cute. And yeah, gave it 4 stars. It's nothing that I'm like, oh my god, best thing ever. But I'm glad that I read it. I'm glad I introduced myself to the series, and I am excited to continue. What am I starting today? Today we are starting Archer's Voice. These are like very like popular, what is it? Oh, I think it's a reflection. Very popular books. I am excited. It's a love story. I think this book is sad, but I like a sad book. It's 8 o'clock now, and I think that the new episode of The Traitors is live, so I must go watch that before I can read. I could watch it after I'm done reading for the day, but I won't be able to focus on my book because I want to watch that so bad. So we're gonna go watch an episode of The Traitors, and then I am gonna start this, and then when I'm like 25 to 50%, somewhere before the end, I'll check in with you guys on my thoughts and feelings on Archer's Voice. Okay guys, I'm about almost 40% into this book, 37%, but if you factor in whatever bullshit's at the end of the book, I'd say that's about 40% done. Also, I thought that I maybe had like some bullshit copy because like the title's cut off, but like that's just how it looks on Goodreads too. So I'm hoping I can finish this because it's January 31st as I am reading it, and it's gonna be my last book for January. And if I finish this, then I will have read 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like I'm missing something, but like 18 books? I thought it was 19, but maybe it's 18. Anywho, hopefully I can finish this tonight. It's like 7 o'clock. I'm about to take a shower, maybe prepare something to eat for dinner. I might make some macaroni and cheese. That sounds pretty good. But first things first is I'm gonna shower. I am reading this on Cynthia, which is my Kindle if you are unaware. And we are 36%, and she says I have less than 4 hours left. So I should be good to get this finished tonight, because I am a firm believer the last 50% of the book is quicker than the first 50%. And so we will get to work on that. As long as I start by like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock. That's how time works, right? 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 12, yeah. Then we should be good to go. So far in the book, we have our main gal, Bree, and our main guy, Archer. It is dual point of view. And essentially, Bree is running from some things that have happened in her life, and she moves to this small town. And then one day she runs into this guy who looks a little disheveled, and she spills a bunch of stuff, and he's helping her pick it up, and she's trying to talk to him, and he's not replying to her, and she thinks he's kind of like rude, whatever. She asks around, she finds out his name's Archer, and something happened and he does not speak. And so now where I'm at, our main gal, Bree, is befriending Archer because she knows sign language, and nobody in this town has even thought to try to communicate with Archer. They just all kind of have written him off for all of these years, which is really sad. And so she is befriending him. And that's pretty much where I'm at currently at this point in time. And yeah, I'm liking it. I mean, right now it's still probably like a 3-4. Hasn't made me like super happy, and it hasn't disappointed me. So with that being said, I'm gonna go take a shower, make some macaroni and cheese, and then we will get to continuing on with this lovely book. Blue Book Vlog. Okay guys, we finished Archer's Voice, and boy oh boy do I have thoughts. Let me just grab the other book we're gonna be reading, because I brought it over here for some unknown reason. We have finished Archer's Voice, and I gave it 3 stars. I did toy with giving it 2 stars. I really did. Why is this so hyped up? Why do people cry? Mild spoiler until this, or huge spoiler, I guess, until this point, because I just need to talk about this. When Archer almost dies, I realized in that moment I don't care about these characters, because I was just like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And like, I know there's more books in this series, so I was like, he actually can't die, so there's that. End of spoiler. Okay, welcome back to anybody who skipped over these spoilers. This was just like such a mid book, and I've read that on like some reviews, people saying that it gives very like Wattpad, which I didn't know what that meant, so I looked it up, and it's like a website where people can just like post their stories. It felt almost to me like, I've never read fan fiction, but it gave like that, like gave like inexperienced writer energy. It gave that it was written YA, but with a lot of sex scenes. And I just thought it was the most incredibly mid book ever. I've explained the premise. So in this, it's basically just Bree and Archer developing a romantic relationship, and he's like very inexperienced. It's very much that trope, the like teach me trope, but he is the inexperienced one, and she is teaching him like how to have sex and XYZ, and I just feel like I'm so uninterested in that trope. And I just feel like everybody in this town was so, like, it was just, there's so much ableism in this book, which, like, I guess is the point, that Bree sees past his disability and, like, thinks of him as a real person, but the fact that the entire town thought of him as a nothing because he can't talk was really disgusting. And so it is a 3-star. It is the most fine whatever book there is, but I'm gonna go film my January wrap-up because I read a lot of books, but I'm gonna go do that, and then tonight we are gonna start The Perfect Ruin, which, based on the description on the back, is about a girl who is having a hard time with life. Something happened, and she finds out who the person is that is responsible for everything bad in her life and is seeking revenge. That is what I'm gathering from the synopsis of this. This is very short. It's like 300-ish pages. So I do hope to read the whole thing today. That is the goal. I have my January wrap-up to film. I have a new TBR jar video to film. And then my whole plan for the evening is to just read. So, this will be what we get to. Okay, friends, update on my blue book, My Perfect Ruin, The Perfect Ruin. I'm not very far, but I have so many thoughts. I'm only about 40 pages in, chapter 6, but the first couple of chapters of this are like third person point of view, going over our main character, Ivy, talking with her therapist, Marriott. It's very annoying because they say her name's Marriott. They spell it out and it's spelled like Marriott, like the hotel, but they say it rhymes with Harriet, so Marriott. She's like talking with her therapist, Marriott, and Marriott gives her a letter that has a name of the person who ruined her life. And then we switch to part 1. I think it says part 1 before the ruin. Yeah, part 1 before the ruin. And basically it starts out in Ivy's point of view. So we're switching to first person point of view. And she's writing a letter to her therapist. And I love this like choice of writing style. It feels very like intimate, like you're really in her head and she's writing to her therapist. And I don't want to say anything about this book really because Ivy is so batshit right off like the jump. And it's so engaging. She's the type of unlikable character and the type of it's like the type of ridiculousness that's like addicting, not like cringe. And so far I'm really, really, really enjoying it. Yeah, and I have like many of theories in this. I don't want to say anything like I said though because I don't want to ruin it for anybody because so far I am really liking it. But I'm excited to keep going. I hope to read a good chunk of this tonight. I honestly don't think I'll finish it. It's already, I mean, maybe I accidentally slept till 11 today. I don't want to talk about it. It's one of those times, well, I guess I'm going to talk about it. You know those days where like you fall asleep and then you wake up and it's kind of like earlier than you usually wake up. So you're just kind of laying there scrolling on your phone, watching TV, and then you fall back to sleep. It was one of those and I woke up with the biggest headache of my life. But so I'm very awake, but I'm gonna go take a shower and then I'm not really hungry for dinner. Had a pretty late lunch, so then I'm gonna go read a bunch of this, as much as I can read of this tonight. The chapters are a little bit longer than I would like. There's some that are like 20 pages, which is split, but I'm enjoying her and we're gonna go get going on this bad boy. All right, y'all, we are about 70% into The Perfect Ruin. And all I have to say about this book is that our main character, Ivy, is just deranged. And I'm like loosely buddy reading this with my friend Christy. And girlfriend said it the best. She said, and I quote, "Every line out of Ivy's mouth feels like I'm watching a video of people reading mean tweets." And just simply, yes, that's literally how it feels reading anything that comes out of our main character, Ivy's mouth. Like, for example, this girl, Kiki, shows her a picture of her daughter and she goes, yeah, I mean, I guess her daughter's pretty cute, but I don't care. I can't stand Kiki. She's so annoying. The fact that she thinks Lola's her best friend, ugh, get over yourself. Like, everything she says is wild, deranged, and crazy, and I really don't know where this is going to go at this point. Right now, it's like, depending on the ending, it'll either be a 3 or a 4. I don't think it'll be a 5. But I am really enjoying it. I think I've mentioned this before, maybe not, but every time I start to feel like I'm getting kind of bored with the book, it pivots. Every time I start to be like, okay, like, come on now, let's pick up the pace, I'm getting over this, something happens. So it's really keeping me on my toes, and I am quite enjoying it. But that is all for right now for The Perfect Ruin. I'm gonna go shower and then hopefully finish this up. We also got a second point of view. I'm in part 2 currently, and we got a second point of view. So that's pretty cool. I'm almost into part 3. Part 2 is pretty short. So I'm reading it on my Kindle, of course, because that's just who I am as a person. I'm on chapter 31. There's only 2 more chapters in part 2, and then we'll be into part 3, and it says I have about an hour and a half left in the book, so I'm just gonna fly right through this nonsense, and then we will be moving on to something else, and that's gonna be all for now. guys, did I pick this spot just so I would be surrounded by blue books? Yes, but we have finished all of these. We'll go over the rest of The Perfect Ruin. This book is wild. It is wacky. It takes you all over the place, baby. It is just something else. It is something else. And I don't want to say anything because the twists and turns in this book are absolutely wackadoodle, wackadoodle, wackadoodle. And I don't want to give anything away by accident, but you straight it. I gave it 4 stars because there was some spicy scenes that I didn't particularly enjoy, so I couldn't give it a 5, but we gave her 4 stars. So in this book video, we started with Indigo Ridge, which was book 1 in the Eden series, and I do plan to continue. I did quite enjoy this, and I gave it 4 stars. Then we moved in to Archer's Voice, which I gave 3 stars. Toyed with giving it 2 stars. I do think it is way overhyped. Not really the best book there ever was. And then I did read The Perfect Ruin, which I'm going to look up what Miss Shanora Williams has also written because I thought it was quite good and I really enjoyed the writing style. And I gave this one 4 stars. So we had 2 wins, 2 for sure wins, and 1 just okay in this blue book video. And let me just tell you, blue is the most popular, besides black, popular book color that I have. So I could definitely do this again or with a different color. But let me know down below. What color books do you have the most of? That I would like to know. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.